Hello my friends and welcome back to Homewood Spirit. This is your Vladimir speaking. Today we will learn together how to make a small wooden head about this size. This is a clay model I have built before I started to carve. I've also used these wood carving plans, which if you want you can download them below the video. And these two things actually in combination, they really helped me to actually achieve the final wood carving. I have used this timber. This is some offcut of some pallet, and it's called radiata pine, so it's pine. It grows pretty much 25 years and they already harvested, so I don't know if you can see it, but the year is pretty much this big. So it's a huge amount of tree which grows every year. It's pretty crazy, I would say, and scary a little bit because I've never seen such a fast growing tree. Well, anyways, it is here. It's okay timber for carving. I'll be honest with you, this is my second time I'm carving such a head from wood. So when you see it at the end of the second part, just don't be so scared because it looks a little bit like Freddy Krueger without head. No, that's not that bad, but it's pretty scary. Anyways, what's important for this video is that these wood carving plans with the clay model can actually lead us to the end results. It doesn't really have to be super awesome, perfect Michelangelo style, as long as we enjoy it and as long as we actually reach to the final destination. I believe that's important. So just print out your plans and build your clay model, and let's get into it. So we start with picture A, which is about making a rough shape. What I do here is that I redraw the dimensions of the head on a piece of wood. I sort of like try to copy the shape of the head, and first I start with the front and then I move to the side. I just make sure it lines up with the front, and again I mark the shape of the head on the wood. All these excess will be sawn off with the saw, which is happening pretty much here. I'm sawing off the excessive timber I don't need, and here I'm making quite a lot of saw cuts. It will help me to access the part under the chin better, and I cut it out faster with my gouge or bench chisel. This is fast and very nice way to do this notch. Here a little bit of sawing behind the neck, and the forehead could be done just with a gouge and a mallet. Then I make the neck a little bit narrower. So again, I notch it off with saw cuts and gouge. If you have a bench chisel, better notch it with a bench chisel to not to dull your gouge. And this is it. This is how it should look like from the picture A. Let's have a quick head anatomy class. So we divide the head into thirds. First is under the nose, second is above the eyebrows, and then we divide the head into halves, which is the level of our eyes, and the width of the eye is 1/5 of the overall width of the head. So we divide it into fifths, and the second and the fourth fifth is pretty much where will our eyes be. And then I very roughly redraw the shape of the face. So that's the eyebrow in the second third and the nose in the first third. It's a very rough drawing, but it helps me to actually realize where on the timber I am while wood carving. The second step will be very easy. We just skip to the plan C, and what we do that we get rid of these sharp corners. I just mark them out with my pencil like that, just by hand roughly, and I pretty much cut them off with the gouge. Just make sure you go with the grain, and this is how it's gonna look like. In the third step, according to plan D, we kind of like get rid of all the sharp corners. So basically what we are doing is that we are rounding the whole head. So I marked all the sharp corners, and what I'm doing is that I am cutting it with my gouge, and because we all already have a lot of experience from bowl carving, this is pretty much making the outside of the bowl. Same thing. What is pretty interesting here is that I flip my gouge over and I carve it like this, which will help me to flatten the surface. According to plans E and F, we mark our eyes, our nose, and the hair. We can also use our clay model. That's very helpful. I start with the hair with stop cuts along the hairline, and towards them I lead these little neat cuts. Just be very gentle because you can coincidentally get rid of a little bit of hair. I will quickly get rid of a lot of material from under the eyes. In this case I'm using number 11 gouge, which is called veneer, which helps me to do actually U cuts, and also if I turn it on the side like this, it's sort of like a flat gouge. Then I do stop cuts like this, so again from the top and then towards it. And of course I make sure that the cheeks will be a little bit rounded, so it's gonna fit the proportions of the face. Also the eye holes are rounded towards the cheek, so I use stop cuts and a flat gouge. Now we are moving to the plan G, which is about how to cut the nose. It's pretty straightforward. Just what we do is the stop cut across the grain first, and then we lead cut towards it. What I do is that I repeat this process maybe 2 or 3 times, depends on the timber, to reach the depth of the nose. So it's gonna look like this. Before I carry on further with the nose, I have realized that the forehead is a little bit squarish. So what I've done was that I copied again the clay model shape on the timber. This is my friend Paul. He's showing me something about his paintings. He's really lovely. Yeah, and then I just carve it with the chisel accordingly. This is how I managed to cut the triangular shape of the eye, and to cut the conical shape of the corner I use again stop cut, one cut across and another cut towards it, and I just repeat it until I get what I need. And this is the end of the first part. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to download your plans and make your clay model. And I will see you soon in the part number 2.